Hi there, curious minds. This is Chibi Kitty here, and so if you remember, we did Pop the Balloon or Fall in Love, episode 11, and I was scrolling through YouTube, and apparently something has happened with the very popular episode that happened with them. I saw Gold Digger in the thumbnail, and I got curious. And so apparently something happened, and he's going to tell his side of things after the show happened. And yes, this is a very long one, so grab your snacks and your drinks and everything. And so let's get started. I'm very curious of what happened. And yeah, sit tight, grab your snacks, and let's see what this is all about. Also, another one of my favorite YouTubers also covered this, so check him out too. Alright, let's get started.
Alright, so my first question, it's a big question that was going on when the Pop the Balloon came out, right? It was one of the key things that you said was a deal breaker.
I look for a woman that's not promiscuous, has a career.
Don't tell me she actually did that. Oh my goodness. The way she portrayed herself in the video, if she really is a gold digger, that's crazy. I am all for taking both sides. So I'm not, if I was mistaken watching the video the first time, then I'm going completely, people are allowed to change their minds, so ooh. I feel for guys who fall in love with like men and women who fall in love and it turns out that the person they fell in love with only likes them for their money. So, and that's very terrible. I feel so bad because they put in so much effort. So for him just meeting her, that's crazy. Hi guys. So I'm still getting used to editing and recording, so I didn't realize my volume was down on here, and so y'all couldn't hear what was being said. So I'm going to back it up some so y'all can listen.
There's a lot of people that when you said that, the internet, they can't take it for what it is. Everybody got all these multiple meanings for it, but the only person that they wasn't asking who it really meant, what it really meant to, was you. You feel me? So yeah. I want you to tell these people, what does promiscuous mean to Aaron? Go ahead, B-Dog.
To Aaron, a promiscuous woman is a woman that possesses the Jezebel spirit. You know, if you're familiar with the Bible, you know about Jezebel, right, and the deception that she used and the evil things that she's done. Right. Promiscuous women nowadays, they tend to manipulate you all for selfish gain. Right. And in the midst of, you know, me falling in love with this promiscuous woman, she's having sexual interactions with other men, you know, throwing off your pH balance. And, you know, your pH balance being affected, that affects my mood, my work ethic at work, a multitude of things that I just don't want inside of my realm.
Right. And so, in a way, you would say that when that promiscuous spirit is in your vicinity, the household can't function, and that's why you can't allow that in your space, basically. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir, because if we look at history, right, you know, there's been women that have...
Can I ask anybody else, any other people who have cats and PCs, how to keep your cat off the PC? I just don't know what to do. I know it's right next to the cat tower, but my chair is also here. Please, anybody can give me some recommendations of how to keep my cat off of it. I live in a small apartment. It's pretty hard to arrange this where she's not jumping on it.
Conquered kingdoms
Mm-hmm.
with their manipulation tactics and with being promiscuous as well. So I don't like that at all. If a woman manifests any interest in another man, and I'm, showing her that I'm interested in her wholeheartedly, then I don't want anything to do with you.
Right. Right. And so, how do you feel about it when we live in a day and age now when you call people out for promiscuity, right? Because a promiscuous person can be a man and it can be a woman, right? Men
Yes.
have the same dog tactics that women do, and a lot of things that we call out on our channel is no matter whether you want to be on team men or team women, we all got some bad habits that are negatively affecting the dating game on both ends. So
Yes.
what do you feel like to a woman who hears what you got to say about this, and they try to throw it off on like, well, we can't be promiscuous over here, but what about what men do, rah rah rah, over what men say, how they operate, the tit for tat. How do you feel when a woman tries to bring that up? Like, what is your exchange with that?
I would like my exchange with that would be, me personally, I'm no saint whatsoever.
Right.
I have been a promiscuous man myself, and it wasn't until I was able to see the damage that was done to the other individual. I didn't know anything about empathy whatsoever until this particular situation transpired.
Right.
Once I stepped out of the relationship, this woman suffered some life-changing things, mentally, I would say. She lost her confidence and her self-esteem because of that. And now she indulges in relationships with low-value men. And honestly, I started caring, even though it's not my fault. With her proceeding on with her life, her indulging with them, that's not my fault. But I feel like I played a factor in that.
Right.
Stepping out on her. So, and also, what I've come to realize is not all women, but the promiscuous women. They are like cats. You
Okay.
could count on one hand how many times have you seen a cat having sex.
Right.
But men, we're like dogs. You'll never see a cat. You can leave a cat in the middle of a desert and it'll come back pregnant.
Right.
And we're dogs. We'll do it right in front of you. Me personally, I would just like to find one person, do it how I like, and I won't seek others. You don't
Right.
seek others.
Right.
You can leave it at that.
Okay. Now, gonna move from that a little bit because I did like what you said about empathy, and I can talk with you about empathy for hours because I feel like one thing that I had to learn as I got married was the importance of empathy. And so now, on this day and age, for some reason, when we bring empathy up as a talking point when it comes to relationships, if you as a man start preaching empathy, you're certainly a simp, you're soft, you feminine. But if you try to bring empathy up to women, then all of a sudden it's like there's a disconnect there on both ends. But people don't seem to realize that the reason why relationships work is because you have to be able to put yourself in the place of your partner, and your partner has to put themselves in the place of you, and you guys come to that understanding together. And I just don't understand why, as men and women, that disconnect is just so vast, if that makes any sense. If you got anything to say on that, go ahead.
It's also so easy to be selfish in a relationship because you don't always see the other side. And it's probably not like easy sometimes, and you don't do it on purpose. I know many times in a relationship with me I have done that. I have not really seen the side of the other person in the thing and just saw my side of it, and then I started to work on myself with that. And it's you do it so much and don't even realize it. It doesn't have to be relationships. It could just be friendships. You're caught up in your own life and you forget to put yourself in that person's shoes, and it's so easy to do that. And you just empathy is just important in any type of relationship. People tend to forget that for some reason.
I think that disconnect is that way because part of the reason is the way the economy is as well. You know, everything is so expensive. Everything is increasing except minimum wage.
Right.
And due to one reason, you know, you have at an all-time high, you know, women doing OnlyFans, you know, women want to strip, women wanting to do all these activities that a man of minor stature would not approve of.
Right.
You know, and I think providing more opportunities for women and men overall would change that as well. People don't communicate anymore. Everybody is like, to me, out for their own selfish gain.
Right.
It's like on the show, like I said on my story, you know, it seemed like those women were there for a helpmate and not a soulmate. You know, we came for different purposes.
Okay.
And, I don't, you know, like I said before, I don't treat women, I court them. It's a big difference, you know. You treat an animal. You know, when an animal does something nice, you give them a little treat. Here's a little doggy bone.
Still, even though this is his side of things, the way he went about trying to court these women was terrible in my opinion. He was just so disrespectful. Like, he was too. It's okay to be honest, but the way he went about it, you're not courting any woman that way.
You court a woman. You
Right.
know, you treat that woman with kindness. But I can't give you 110% of me, and you are giving me 75% of you. And you giving Jonathan 10%. You got Jimmy, another 10%. You know, your attention is divided. So when I'm pouring into you, like I stated before, I'm pouring into you the seeds that I'm planting, they'll never grow because you're distracted.
And this, you know, it's crazy. That was some heat. Hold on, that was some heat. And this, you know, what's crazy. This is why I wanted to do the interview with you, because I was sitting there after you reached out to us on Instagram and you said you watched the reaction. We get a lot of people that they see our reactions and then they show some love, they do all this. But as soon as we uploaded your video of the Pop the Balloon Arlett's video, we got so many people in the comments going, yeah, the last guy was he's on Instagram going crazy. He's on Instagram doing this. Oh, he said this. Oh, this is going on. And one thing about, you can ask my wife even this, one thing about me is when it comes down to this internet stuff, I try to stay unbiased. I try not to pick a side until I actually know stuff, because I've seen the effects of what happens when you jump to conclusions and you pick a side too fast, right?
Yeah.
This is why I said I'm interviewing you today. If the Esther chick ever said, oh, I want to be on there and I want to talk my talk, I hope it's respectable, but you know, I'm gonna be unbiased. I'm gonna say, hey, go ahead, talk your talk. But at the end of the day, one thing we gotta all understand that the Bible, it says, what's done in the dark is gonna come to the light.
It's so true, especially like doing YouTube and you're watching reviews and even in real life you're talking and you're hearing one person's side story and then this person's saying the other. You kind of have to stay unbiased because you assume too early and then like you look a certain way because you're taking. It's basically like he was saying. It's so easy to jump ahead too early and stuff. So you want to try to stay unbiased.
Meaning that all truths and all lies are going to be exposed at the end of the day. So that's why having you reach out to me, I'm like, you know what? I see him on this. I see him talking his talk online, but I see all these people. They take the 3 minute video clip or the 3 minute Instagram clip, and they sitting there. I saw one lady like, oh yeah, you must beat men. I'm like, what? I was looking at your comments. I'm like, at what point did he even sound aggressive towards women in anything that he said? But all of a sudden, you a woman beater, and they sitting there going crazy. So I'm like, you know what?
He didn't sound aggressive. I don't even took it as aggressive. He just looked a little bit too much like an ass when he was speaking to women. It's just, he has a certain type of woman. That's okay. It's just the way he went about it. It was so terrible. Yeah, I wouldn't have sat there and said he looked like a woman beater. That's a little far off. People would judge way too early based off of a small clip.
I got a small platform. It's not a great platform, but God has blessed me with the platform. And I always tell people that I want to let God move on my platform. And if letting people talk their truth and really tell it is a way to use the platform, then we might as well do it. So, how are you feeling now that you're blowing up right now? You're on World Star, you're on all this stuff. And I understand you're already like a fitness guy and all that. So a lot of this viral pressure does hit you. But how do you feel when you got people just making all these random stories and claims about you and they don't even know you?
So at first it was frustrating, because I know the type of man that I am. The individuals around me know what type of man that I am. And, people start to delve deep into what transpired in the past, and I can't escape my past.
Right.
I can recreate my future.
Right.
I don't, they want to judge on, things that the negative, anything they can find negative, but anything positive that I've done, they don't want to talk about.
Yeah, that goes for a lot of things. As long as your past, you're not repeating your same bad actions. Like, let's say you used to do a lot of bank robbing back in your past, and you went to jail, and then you left jail, and it's years later, and you became a better man. But that is your past. You take it as a lesson, and you move on from that. You shouldn't hold people to what they did in their past as long as they're doing it. They're doing the same thing constantly. Yeah, bring that up. Yeah, people kind of hold on to the past way too much.
So I think, Jesus was perfect, right?
Right.
They still talk bad about Jesus. So they're always going to have something to say about me. Just keep talking. Keep blowing me up. Keep making me bigger. And, God willingly, the right person sees me and something, a career takes off. I don't have to plumb anymore. Something comes out of this.
Right.
But I don't care what people got to say. You can think the worst of me. The women out there that are afraid to take a chance with me, you're depriving yourself of an opportunity with a great man. These women that you see trying to clout chase off of me, and they make money on social media. They don't have very good paying jobs, and they're gonna do whatever they can. They're gonna say whatever they can to paint this false narrative about me. Keep painting it. Put it on the biggest canvas you can find in America. And I'm gonna keep smiling. I'm gonna keep my head held high at all times. You see me out in public, I'm a friendly giant. Don't be afraid to approach me. If I have a resting mean face on in the gym or something, don't be afraid. You can say hello.
Right.
I don't put my hands on women, but I will get aggressive with a man, for the right reason. Defending myself or defending a woman. trying to promote a just cause. You know,
Right.
I don't want to promote any bigotry, any negativity. Let's spread more black love and not hatred. You know, let's come together. You know, we the only ones that don't really have any unity. And let's come together. You know, let's bring my people together. Let me, God, please bless me, you know, with a platform where I can create opportunities for my people. You know.
Right. No, I felt that, and I felt what you said about the Jesus part, because even the Bible says, Jesus said, they hated me before they hated you.
Right.
Meaning that,
You know, the hard hairs, and I don't like it, but I was just like, you know, this isn't gonna work. You know, I don't mind shaving them off too, I wasn't planning on getting at her like that, but I felt like she tried to play me.
But you did.
Up here, and she tried to.
yeah.
She's trying to get a moment. Yeah, she's trying to get a moment.
So we can, so on the camera, even with you watching it full screen, because there's a difference between when you up front, when you up close to people, when you on the camera. On the camera, I was trying to look at her arms, and I'm seeing the shades. I'm like, dang, for him to point it out, was it that hairy? Like, was she really that packed up with the hair? Because on camera, we could just see a little bit, but
When they zoomed in,
yeah, when
they
they
was wrong for
they
zooming
was
in
wrong for
on her
zooming in
like
on her
that.
like that.
Man, I'm gonna just say, because you know they gonna try to crucify me. I'm gonna just say, for me, it was a little excessive. You know, for the next man, he might be willing to tolerate it, but I wasn't willing to.
Okay. Well, since we going through the list of your ops, we got your next op. This is the op that your opponent that is the main reason why you are going crazy viral right now, and it's so disappointing because it's so cry to your mama, cry to your mama. This is when I watched this, I was sad, but I was happy. I was happy on your end,
I was
but
sad on her end.
I was disappointed on her end, because if anybody has watched the Pop the Balloons, this girl was also she was also a person that on the show she had an encounter with a man named Dr. Elam, and he called
shout
her.
out Dr. Elam.
Shout out Elam, man. Hey, Elam, hit me up, bro. It's all love, bro. I want people to know I do not hate Dr. Elam, bro. Me and Alex be watching his stuff. He's funny. Y'all need to understand, we don't hate that man. But it was disappointing because we vouched for her so hard, because the first time she came on the show, she was humble. And when she got to you and a couple other gentlemen, and we started seeing, I said, it's a power shift. When you're that lone wolf standing and you're in front of all those people and you're the target, you're gonna act humble and meek.
Yeah.
But as soon as she was on the opposite side and she had the reinforcements, the women on her left, women on her right,
Yeah.
versus the lone man, some character came out. And when she approached you, it threw me off, because I'm like, bro, I was sliding for you.
But I kind of knew Kayla was gonna turn up in this episode.
And she came for you.
They were rooting for you.
And here's the part that, okay, before I ask this question, here's the part that confused me, because she said in the video, you tried to come for me, and so now I gotta get at you. But if you actually watch the video, there's no lead up or interaction that is on the camera.
Well, let me say this, Queen. I'm a licensed plumber.
So, and I do real estate
I live
and property management.
I live
So what you
downtown.
doing?
I live
Tell me, compare it to
downtown.
me.
I stay by myself, Queen. You know, and you're not even qualified to be
You
dealing
say
with me.
everybody not qualified.
You definitely not. You know, if anything, it was one of these two. I wasn't even looking your way. You
And
ain't
the one
my
that you
type.
wanted popped
If I
up.
see, that's fine.
So what?
That is totally fine. But
Okay.
one thing about me, I could pull 100,000 on the bank. Can you do the same?
You have a killer e-commerce store, but your conversion rate, not so killer.
Between you and her, it just like she starts off like that, and so it's confusing. Did something happen and then you get cut before that clip showed, or what happened?
So nothing crazy happened. I didn't get to calling her out of her name or anything. We were just exchanging back and forth, and I had said, you know, what kind of vehicle I had. So, you know, shout out to whoever was editing the video, you know, for editing that out for me, because she was like, you know, what kind of, I was like, this what I, you know, so they edited that out. But other than that, that was it.
Okay,
Yeah, that's
so,
okay.
and I respect you. Yeah, I respect you for even admitting that there was something that led to that. Because when I saw that part, I was kind of confused. I'm like, what, he didn't even say nothing to you.
Yeah.
So it's
Nah,
like,
we just try to continue on with her, you know, oh, you're broke rent, you know, you live with somebody, you're trying to say, you know, I didn't have any money or whatever.
oh,
I
we
just
know
put
that.
out-
Yeah, that's another thing with these like Jubilee and other YouTube videos and everything that gets really popular. They edit a lot of stuff out and it doesn't come with the context. So like you have to really watch it when you're watching the videos to not judge it so harshly. So it's good that we're listening to this.
We know you got money.
Little 20, 30,000 on Instagram just to show y'all, you know, I'm not doing that again.
Yeah.
And if you think you're gonna try to rob me, man, it's not gonna end well. So please don't.
So in the Kayla situation, so now that we know that this led up, right? When you hit her with your finishing move, right? Because we call you Weapon X, we call you Deus Machina, right? The machine, right? You had a fatality in there. You said, I could pull 100K out the bank right now. Can you do the same?
That struck me.
That
struck me. Like,
did you feel like a Super Saiyan at that point? Did you feel your veins
No, I
pumping super?
I definitely get it because, you know, I'm a man, and like I said, men, we conquer women. And people think, you know, it's zesty going back and forth, but I'm a man. You are a woman. Stay in your nature and be subservient. I'm not saying bow down to me, but stop trying to talk over to me. You know, you don't talk over a man. You know, you say you come from the South and you were raised with morals and principles, but you don't, a woman from the South is not going to raise her voice and loud talk a man that did not disrespect you. You know, if I wasn't interested in you, is that what they teach in the South? You know, a man that's not interested in you, go bad on him? You know, that was a little bit ridiculous, but I say that also because, you know, we have a lot of gang violence out there. We have a lot of kids that this being tough thing is trending too as well. You know, all these kids want to be Pistol Pete, and it seems, you know, all they want to do is just hurt somebody or shoot somebody. Anybody can shoot somebody, anybody can kill somebody, anybody can hurt somebody, beat them up, but everybody can't count 100,000. So go get you some money. That's my best advice to you, man. Go count 100,000.
Yeah,
You're putting your energy into the wrong stuff.
yeah.
Once I started getting some real money, leaving the country, expanding my horizon, seeing that there was more to life than what it is, then I stopped, you know, stop staying around stuff that I got accustomed to. I start moving around. I'm trying to travel the globe, man. Go do something different.
Right. Okay. Now, this one is the one where I'm gonna ask you it, but I know that you have to do the catch up with Arlette. So the way I'm gonna phrase it.
Okay, guys, we're gonna stop it here. Mainly because this is very long, and I want to make sure I get everything. Yeah, so this is, I'm going to do a part 1, part 2 of it. So part 2 is going to come tomorrow. So can't wait for the rest of it. And thank you for watching. And again, if y'all have any video recommendations, just put them down below. And thank you for watching. And this is GB Kitty. And y'all have a good night, okay?